segment 4.
No, this is the difficult segment.
Yeah, this is always like the...
you got the excitement of the first segment. And the second one, you kind of got a lot to prove, so you put a lot of effort into that. Third one, you try something a bit different.
Yep.
You know, and then it's a more conceptual segment.
And then segment 4, because segment 5 is going to obviously be your closer, your outro.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Segment 4 is just this sort of, it's like a big valley.
You would normally... This was the one you'd probably, if you're talking in terms of albums in a band's career, this is one where you'd get like some kind of super producer in and get everything. Like this is where you'd take your dance direction.
Yeah.
You'd get like James Murphy to produce this one, I would imagine.
Yep.
He's the guy from Milk City Sound System.
Mark Ronson, come in.
Yeah, Mark Ronson,
He's
that'd
out
be
there.
cool.
Yeah, come in, dude.
What a lovely gentleman.
Yep.
That would be fun.
Cool. So he's gonna remix
produce this.
Mix the show up right now.
Yep.
There we go. So I want to talk to you about your shirt because I feel like you've worn this for my pleasure.
Oh, definitely. I always, every time I leave the house, well, before I leave the house, I get out of the shower and I think, fuck, what's Nick going to want me to wear? In case I see him, which happens like 3 times a year.
Anyway,
this
the Herd.
is the Herd's...
it's the Elefant Traks shirt, isn't it?
Was it their 20th birthday or their 10th birthday? Probably their 10th birthday.
So 10th birthday would have been 5 years ago.
So it's 15th birthday.
15th birthday.
Jeez,
the one they had in December?
Yeah, this is the one from last December.
Yeah.
This is where I bought the shirt.
The one that I was in London for.
Oh, you missed it. It was good.
I was so
you should have
sad, man.
seen it. Oh, wow.
Did you go the night that Jane Tyrrell premiered her?
She
What?
she played. Yeah, she.
Can you give me some sort of insight as to what
I think she. No, I did talk to. No, did I talk to Jane? I always ask Jane about her stuff. I know she's been working with some rad people from around Australia.
Can you drop me any knowledge on this? Because
I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's tweeted photos of herself with the Pivot dudes, the PVT dudes.
Yes, true.
But I think that's all I can really remember.
Because she said January originally for the single.
She's
It is
got
now
too much
April.
creativity.
Yeah.
It must be weird. We have made this joke, and I'm very sorry, Jane, and I'm very sorry, the members of Elephant Traks, that everyone at Elephant Traks keeps Jane locked up in a cage because she is so talented, and they need her on everything they do.
Yes.
Like when Jane started working with the Herd, it was just like, whoa. I mean, the Herd are absolutely beautiful, and I really love old Herd. Like Elephant Never Forgets, this was the second release, was great because it's so minimalist and there's no singing on it. There's barely, like the drums are all really computerized drums and it's great. There's a little bit of singing, but
Yep.
and then they sort of turned into this much more world music sort of band, bring Jane in to absolutely set the place alight with her harmonies and working with the stuff she does with horror show is so freaking good. And so we're convinced it was like in the dead of night she broke out of this cage and ran away and started recording a solo album. And the Elephant Traks to keep dragging Jane back.
Lock her up in the elephant cage.
Back in the cage. Oh no, that would be terrible. Now that this is how Elephant Traks do it. They do it with all their artists.
Yeah.
When they're young, they tie them to a tiny post that's pegged in the ground, just like at the circus. And then as they grow, they don't think they can break away from that post. This is how circus break elephants, by the way. Tiny little stump in the ground, and elephants grow up thinking they're not stronger than the stump. So they never try to escape the stump.
Yeah.
And
that's really up your alley, isn't it? Animals being tied to
I just got a little
stumps.
bit of an animal rights little thing in there. Anyway, so that's cool. So is JT on this?
Yeah, she is third one down.
Is. Yeah, right.
Herd, Hermitude,
Don't
Horror
spend
Show,
too much
Jolistics, Aussie Battler, Jimbler, Earth Boy, Sietta, Sky High, The Tongue, Jane Tyrrell, The Last Connection, Astronomy Class. Dylan's trying to get the camera.
That's all right. Well,
How's he going?
Ooh, look at that. I'm sure it's great. You can just look it up online at elephanttraks.com.
Yeah.
But it was a good night. I just love Elephant Traks. We toured with them in 2004, Frenzal Rhomb and Elephant Traks on tour
serious?
together to half-empty houses because no one knew what the fuck we were doing. They're like, I love Frenzal, but I don't love hip-hop. Or I love hip-hop, but what the fuck is a bunch of old cunts from Frenzal?
Exactly.
Now I'm swearing terribly.
Wow.
Sorry.
This is next level for you.
But yeah, what the hell of a bunch of idiots, like Frenzal I'm doing on tour with them. So the tour wasn't massive, but I just loved them so much.
Man, that would have been... And then you were in their the videos with Fundamentals and The Herd, wasn't it? Yeah.
Actually on one of their albums. I mean, Jason and I are singing backups on the album After Elephant Never Forgets, I'm pretty sure.
Was that Summerland?
Yeah, on Summerland. We sing on... Unpredictable, maybe? No. Something like that.
It's not Unpredictable, is it?
No, because that's the giant song. No.
That's the one with all the languages.
Yeah, and I think that's on Elephant Never Forgets anyway. But it's it was a song around that time, and they got us into their little studio when they used to have a studio in Enmore. Jason and I sang harmonies and stuff.
That's awesome. Because Summerland is named after Summerland Point on the Central Coast. Did you know?
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know who told me that. It may have been a member of the Herd.
Probably would have been a member of the Herd.
I think so. At Pete's Ridge Festival in its last year, when I interviewed the Herd.
When we were there in the beautiful hinterland of the Central Coast, essentially, Pete's Ridge.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Hunter kind of area, a bit south of Hunter.
Yeah, it's a weird part of the Central Coast.
There used to be a festival there which we played at called Glenworth Valley back in the 90s.
That's literally like next door.
And that was I think that also went bust, but I'm sure unlike Pizza Ridge, it probably paid everyone. but yeah, I remember sleeping on a mattress outside next to the stage before we went on stage, so I could sober up enough to play. It's terrible. Because you've been there the night before, and it's hard to.
You've had your fair share of camping festivals now, haven't you? Because to be honest, Pizza Ridge is my first and only so far camping festival.
How do you go?
I hated it.
Really?
I lasted a night, and then I went home the next day.
Yeah, you would have been difficult because first of all, you got to do something with your hair, and you need to straighten it, plugged in, and everything.
Exactly.
That takes a while.
Yes, I need my beauty sleep. Well, I went into because I was doing interviews on the 2 days I was there, and I went into the interview tent on the second day of interviews, and I did my first interview in my pajamas.
Nice.
Like I just made sure that the camera was above.
Oh right, you weren't selling that as a thing.
No, I was literally. This was back when Project U was a bit more conservative.
Okay, so you couldn't, and you didn't have that respected name of journalism where you could go a little bit crazy.
That was it. We hadn't really established ourselves, and
you didn't want to come out as the Carl Stefanovic of social media.
I mean, you would want to come out as the Carl Stefanovic of anything.
But he would be the sort of guy to do his interview in pajamas.
I reckon.
Day of a festival like that.
With all due respect, Lindsay, he's sort of like a dream guest for a bit of banter.
Yeah,
so.
Right. Yeah, people do seem to like him. I'm sure. I've never, I don't watch those shows.
Yeah.
So I only see the horrible videos of him being hungover. He seems lovely. He seems lovely. But yeah, like Pedestrian as well always talk about having a beer with him or whatever.
They think he is just an absolute deity. Like.
Yeah. I guess he's good. What does he do? Does he do the news?
Well, he's a journalist,
host?
and he does the occasional really serious journalism story for 60 minutes.
Yeah,
but
right.
He'll host the Today Show and just be a dickhead.
He
for
seems that
3
he
hours
comes
a day.
from that similar school of as Andrew O'Keefe. Like Andrew O'Keefe comes from like this sort of theatre sports background. He used to do stuff with the Chaser.
Yeah.
So it's similar sort of thing. Got into vaguely serious, although I don't know how serious game shows are. But
Yeah.
So okay.
Not very.
Yeah. Right. So that's that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Who are we talking about?
We're talking about Pizza Ridge festivals.
That's right.
Yeah, I've played a few festivals.
You've played a few festivals in your time.
I've camped at a few festivals.
Is there a standout for you? Is there anything? I mean, you guys have been playing together for too long.
We've played these really nice festivals all over the world, but I remember we played really weird festivals in Europe where the treatment is insane. You get such an amazing amount of food and alcohol, and they treat you like absolute kings. And but we did the Warped Tour. The second time we went to the States, 1998, we played the Warped Tour. And this is what happened. We were traveling in it's like a high ace style van, so like 8 seats plus a bunch of gear in the back. And so you would get to the festival in one city, and you would set up your merch tent, and you'd be at the merch tent until you played. We'd play at about 11:30 in the morning on stage.
Yeah.
On stage, and then get to and then go straight back to the merch stand. Spend all day in what we used to call the Electric Boogaloo merchandise stand by making the most amount of noise possible. We'd have guitars, we'd have loudspeakers, we'd like being over the top Australian because we're playing. The first show was somewhere in like Arizona or something. So they loved Australians, especially in 1998 in America.
Yeah.
They were doing this, just yelling at people, doing like gambling, doing like singing offs, like pashing people, doing like heads and tails, all this stuff to sell shirts because we had to live basically to sell these shirts. And then when it all packed up at about 8 at night, whatever, we would go to, like everyone would get on their buses and drive to the next town. We would drive as far as we could until we found the cheapest hotel, sleep for 2 hours, and then get up and drive to the next town in our van. So everyone else is like on their big buses, not having to worry about sleep. We had to try and sleep and then get to the next. And then you get there at 8 in the morning, set up again, start selling merch, and then go and play at 11:30 and then do it all again. Every day for 2 months.
So did you have time to get drunk? And
oh yeah, no, we would drink the whole day. They would give us a case of beer, case of Budweiser. It was always warm because there's no fridges.
That's right.
And like
if it's free, it's
it's
acceptable to be warm.
This was back in the days when Red Bull was just starting. This is 1998 when energy drinks didn't exist. Red Bull was just starting up in America. So there's this Red Bull truck because everything on Warped Tour is sponsored, and the Red Bull was freezing cold. So beer and Red Bull is what we would drink every day. Can you imagine? Like that's how you survive through the whole day, of course. But
that's a good combination. It's healthy.
No, it's not healthy. That and whatever you get from we would pay ourselves $10 each a day, I think, which was a 6-pack of beer, packet of cigarettes, because I smoked back then like an idiot, and maybe some food from like a Taco Bell or a really cheap diner on the way.
Yeah.
That was what you would eat, and everything else, that's what you'd live on. Everything else you'd try and get for free from the various sponsor stalls at the Warped Tour.
Try your luck.
But we did it for so long. What's the protocol on this forum here, talking about not hard drugs, not Class A, also not your marijuana, your hallucinogens?
Look, I've talked to Chasira from the Jungle Giants about ayahuasca before.
Okay, so it's not ayahuasca. It doesn't last that long.
Okay.
It's a pretty good story, and the good thing is I'm fairly free of blame because it was accidental. So
click right there.
you go.
There, right there. I'm going to put a little annotation. Click right there to find out the story. It's going to be pretty amazing.